Hello my fellow crafters, Michelle here. I have a Dollar Tree Halloween DIY for you today. In today's crafting adventure, I'm going to show you how to make this creepy rest in peace tombstone wreath. I'm really excited to share this wreath with you. This is very fun and easy to put together, and you can use whatever supplies you have on hand at your Dollar Tree. Let me show you how to make it. To get started on our Halloween DIY, you're going to need an 18-inch wreath form from Dollar Tree. Now, if you cannot find an 18-inch wreath form, yes, you can use a 14-inch wreath form, but you might want to choose to not use all of the elements that I'm going to use today. The reason why I'm using the larger wreath form is because of the size of the items that I'm adding to our wreath. To cover our base, you're going to need a package of their nylon zip ties. This is the 8-inch package. You get 60 pieces. One package will be plenty. And then you're also going to need several packages of their creepy cloth. Now this is 30 inches by 72 inches. And you will want them in the black. Once I get the base done, I will tell you how many I needed. I'm figuring 2 to 3, but we'll see. I have my zip ties opened, and I opened a package, and it comes all folded up, so you want to open it all the way, and it is very thin, so we're going to be folding it, but you need to make sure you open it all the way first and find the ends. Okay, so I have found one end, pulled out the other. Let's see, if you try to do it not tucked in together, it's really thin and we don't want that. So you take both corners, just kind of pull it together. Take a zip tie, and we're going to start by zip tying one of the ends right here to a crossbar. And I am going to zip tie it here to the back. So just run your zip tie. Place the end in and secure your zip. Pull it all the way down and get it nice and tight. Then you can trim off any excess. Now your end is nice and secure. And then we just need to cover the base of our wreath form here with our black creepy cloth. Now the creepy cloth does come in 3 different colors. It comes in black, it comes in gray, and it comes in an off-white. Dollar Tree also carries several different creatures that you can add. They have the skeleton man that we'll be using today. They also have a witch, and they also have like a pumpkin head type guy. So depending on what you can find in your stores, use what is available to you and what goes together. Okay, once you get to the end, zip tie that down, add another one, and continue until you get your entire base covered in the creepy cloth. I have my 18-inch wreath form covered in the creepy cloth. It took a total of 3 packages. So that's wonderful. All you need is enough to cover the wreath frame so that you don't see it. By the time we're done adding everything, you're going to see very little bit of the wreath. So I'm very happy with that. Set this aside. Now I'm going to be adding this tombstone that I picked up from Dollar Tree. They have several different ones to choose from, so whichever one you can find and whichever one speaks to you. Now these are not very sturdy, they're quite flimsy, so we're going to need to beef this up so that we don't have any problems of it breaking while we're attaching it. And to do that, I'm going to be using some of these giant craft sticks. Now I picked this package up from Walmart, but if you don't have these, you can always use the wood rulers that you can get from Dollar Tree. And so you'll need a couple of these. This is how I'm going to glue them down to make sure that my back is nice and sturdy. And to cut these, I just used my good pair of scissors. These work fine. And then I'm going to do 2 cross where they break. So that's how I'm going to glue everything down, and I'm going to use a combination of Aleene's Original Tacky Glue and hot glue. Now you need to be careful, this is styrofoam, so if you use a high temp glue gun, you need to let your glue cool a little bit before you place it down, otherwise it might melt the styrofoam. Now my tombstone is nice and secure. It's not going to easily snap on me. Next, you need to decide your placement. I want him kind of a little kiltered off to one side. So this is going to tell me where I need to place my pipe cleaners. So I need to place one on this side. I'm going to place one right here. I'm going to be using a full-length pipe cleaners, and I'll be attaching probably 3 of them. By adding these jumbo-sized popsicle sticks, I've not only strengthened my tombstone, but I've also given myself a better area to attach my pipe cleaners. They're less likely to melt my tombstone, and they're also less likely to come apart on me. You want to let that fully set up before we attach it to our wreath. We're also going to be adding one of these skeleton guys that you can pick up from Dollar Tree. Now this is the first time I've found them with hands. I thought that was really cool. And I've just kind of been playing with him. These came all twisted up, so I just kind of worked on opening them up. And then I went in and made sure that this was kind of glued down next to his hands. I also made sure everything kind of pulled over his shoulders, and see, they kind of curl back up, but it looks better if you open them up a little bit. So just play with your guy. And then here on his face, he had the darkness in his eyes and his nose, but he had nothing on his mouth. And I really wanted that to stand out, so I just took a fine point, this is the ultra fine point black Sharpie, and just went in where the grooves are and took my black Sharpie and filled it in. Because I really want that to be creepy. And if you can't really see those individual teeth, he's not quite as creepy. And then I also added just a little bit of black here around his nose and also here around his eye to add a little bit more shadow. And let me tell you, the Sharpie works really well, and the ultra fine point is really nice because you can easily get into those grooves. The larger one might be a little difficult to do his mouth, but I'm really happy with that. So play with your guy, get him looking good, open up all his little twists, and prep him to get onto your wreath. He also comes with a hanger here at the top. You can go ahead and remove that. Just cut it off. So my skeleton guy here is all cleaned up, ready to go. Now to attach him, I'm just going to use a full-length pipe cleaner, and I'm going to simply wrap it around his neck here, bring it back nice and snug to the back, and give a twist. And then this is what I'm going to use to attach it to the wreath. I'm also going to use hot glue to make sure I get his positioning correct. But this way I have double duty, the pipe cleaner and the hot glue. My glue is fully set up, so my pipe cleaners are nice and secure. I'm going to start by attaching my tombstone first. And I want him up a little bit and tilted over to the side. Down just a little bit. And I'm just going to turn him over, and I'm going to take the pipe cleaners. Since they are black, it makes it nice and easy. I can just wrap it right around the whole frame, pull snug, and give a couple twists. Okay, now that is nice and secure. It's not going to go anywhere, and I like its placement. I'm not going to completely tighten it down and trim my pipe cleaners yet. I want to get this guy on first. And now he's going to go on the opposite side. Come out a little further here. So I want him here on the side. So I think I'm going to place him right about there. And I'm going to start with just that pipe cleaner, pull it around to the back and get it snug and give some good twists. Once you get your tombstone and your little skeleton guy here placed, trim down your pipe cleaners a little bit, and then take those and tuck them down. You don't want any sharp ends facing out towards the back, so just push it back down inside, and then you won't even be able to see them. Okay. Now to get him further secured, I'm going to be bringing an arm over here. I'm going to also hot glue him on the back here where he meets the wreath. So right in here, I'm going to hot glue him down. For your convenience, in the description box below is a detailed list of all the tools and materials I used to make this Halloween wreath. So I'm going to bring this arm kind of over in the front of him. So I want to start bending it, and then this one's going to come over and kind of rest. I'm going to add another little sign down here, and I want this hand to kind of rest on top of the sign. So over here where the shoulder meets, I'm also going to glue it down here. And you can also kind of adjust the head, angle it the way that you like. Now I want to place this beware right here. kind of have him touching it like that. So this is why I want to wait until I fully secure this down to make sure I have all my placement. And actually, I think that's going to work. I just want to know that this is a tombstone. I picked it because the rest in peace was up here and the words were not down here because I knew I was going to cover the bottom. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing your items about where you're going to be placing them and what's going to show. Now before we attach this, I want to add some moss and stuff to the background. I have a package here of the Spanish moss, and I like this especially for Halloween. This moss is very gray, it's not green, so I think that suits Halloween really well. And you get quite a good amount in one package. And if you kind of just pull it apart, it comes out in little sheets or streams, whatever you want to call it. So that makes it easier to place. I'm just going to kind of lift him up a little bit, trying to get this out of the way. I want to add some down here, kind of cover the bottom and the bottom down here. I'm just going to use hot glue. Quickly lay it down. Open that up. And then just lay it in on top of the hot glue. Just be cautious not to burn yourself. Okay, I think that is a good base of the Spanish moss. Want to do a little bit of adjusting here before I add any more. So I want this to go right about here. And then he'll be touching it like this, and I do want part of his cloak coming behind. Now to attach this to our wreath, I'm going to be using some floral wire. I really do like this. I pick it up at Dollar Tree. It's 26 gauge and you get 100 feet. You will need 2 pieces of floral wire. And the first piece I'm going to wrap right around here between the R and the E. Pull that to the back. Get it nice and snug and give a good twist. And then the second one, I'm going to go right between the B and the E. Again, pull it to the back, get it snug, and give a good twist. Now I'm going to be using those floral wires to get this nice and secure onto my wreath. And the nice thing about them is they are sharp, so I can literally pierce right through his cloak and pierce through any of the moss that I've attached. So I'm going to start on this end and do just that. To attach the word beware, feed your floral wire to the back and wrap it around the wire frame and attach. Make sure to tuck the wire ends back forward so they don't scratch your door. My sign is wired on and nice and secure. I am going to further secure it here with some hot glue. Just go in a few places and add some hot glue and push it down. I just don't want it to change its position. My Beware is on nice and secure. I have my hands where I want them. Now, you cannot hot glue the hands onto the Beware. It will not work. It does not stick, as I discovered. So I had to wire this one down, and this one I used the fabric and kind of glued it down. But as you can see, they can still kind of move, but that's okay. They're in the positioning that I want them to be. And now up here behind his head, I'm going to add some more moss. Just kind of roughly place it in there and glue it down. Mine doesn't have to be completely covered, but I just don't want to see that big piece of the black. A little bit coming through here and there is okay. And then in my moss, I got a bunch of these little twigs and things. I'm also going to glue some of these in. Make it look a little rustic. Different things that you would find in a cemetery. Now I have all the rest of the moss glued in. It did take me one entire package of the Spanish moss, but I'm really happy with that. Now I pulled out this spider. It comes in a package of 2 that you can pick up at Dollar Tree. I also pulled out this ornament for Halloween of a rat. And then I also pulled out some of these black bats that I have. And I pulled out some of the black glitter branches. And one stem of the black roses that have some eyeballs. And then I have some bones left over from a bag of bones that you can get from Dollar Tree. I'll probably use just a few of these, but these are the other items that I'm going to be using to embellish my wreath today. I'm going to start with these branches because I want to kind of feed them in around the back of my skeleton guy. So now I'm going to start to place some of these glitter branches, and I'm just going to come down and snip them into individual branches so that I can place them exactly where I want. I want to make sure to place them kind of back here behind my guy. I want to kind of fan around, maybe a few on that side as well. So I'm going to, now I'm just going to hot glue these in. Add a little bit of glue and then place them where you want them. I'm going to get the rest of these glued in. I have 2 stems of my branches glued in. Now I do have one more left, but I'm going to wait till I get my other embellishments glued in. And I've decided I'm going to use my spider and the bats. I don't really have a good placement for my rat, so I'm not going to use him. And then I think I'm only going to use maybe 1 or 2 of the black roses with the eyeball. So I'm going to get the rest of my embellishments glued in, and then I'll come back and show you the finished product. I got my final embellishments on, and I'm very pleased with the end result. I'm so happy with how it came out. It's very creepy, the perfect wreath for Halloween. And I did use almost the whole stem of my black roses with the eyeballs. They did come with 2 pieces here that had some like black stems and some spiders. I used those as well. I did go back and add the 3rd black branch, and I like it much better. It needed to be filled in a little bit here, and then I added 1 more piece on the other side. And then the one embellishment that I did add that I didn't show you are these little black ring spiders. I added about 3 of them. And all you do is just cut the ring part off and then hot glue them on. But I'm very pleased with the end result of my Rest in Peace Tombstone wreath. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and some love in the comments. And if you know anyone who would enjoy my content, please share it with them. Thanks so much for stopping by. You know, it's always a pleasure to see you. I hope everyone is staying happy, healthy, and strong. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.